Welcome to another episode of BI4ALL Talks. I'm Martim Dornelas. I have here with me João Rodrigues, and we'll be talking about the Human AI Alliance following the presentation that we had on BTF, Building the Future, So, João, following this topic, and we've both been working by building agents and you in concrete was building agents and working side by side with agents. Can you talk a little bit about your experience?
Yes, for sure. So I think from someone that was not only building those agents but also using them as an assistant in a project, I think there are a lot of benefits. The first one that it comes to my mind, it's definitely the workload that we were able to deliver. I think it's highly doubtable that we were able to, with the same 5-6 persons, deliver the exact same output without the assistance of those agents. That's for sure one thing. I think so. That was the main benefit in my opinion. I think it's complete game changer in that regard. I think it was also really benefit for us in terms of what we were able to take a deep dive in the complex things. We were able to take a deep dive in the complex things and not since the agent was mainly helping us in the easier tasks. I think the agent is really good, but yeah.
The other day, I was talking with a colleague of us that's from the series of AI, and we were laughing a little bit about and asking ourselves if we were really doing the complex tasks or if it was the AI doing the complex tasks. And this is a specific point. The thing was, we were building and working on a solution, and we were refining. So the idea came from us once more, but at a certain point, he was laughing, saying, "I'm not completely sure, and I'm a bit frustrated about this because I think I'm the one who's doing the easier task right now." And also because he built everything around this, and I'm just saying, "Oh, okay, I'm going to clean this part and do this, shift this Portuguese more ish, and so who's doing these other things?" So, and this is something that we with the evolution of AI, I'm feeling that we are evolving, and I have a small concern about this, and I think all of us should be aware of it, is that once more, I truly believe that humans should be in control, of course. But I think the line between who's going to do each task, it's a fate to be a thinner line with time. What do you think about that?
When I say complex things, from my experience, I'd say most of it were around the logic of the business itself. I think that was one of the things that it was harder to capture from the agents. But again, when I say complex things, I say
define complexity.
Define complexity, of course. So it's a little complex to define that term. But yes, I do agree that even on things that were taking us more time to do, if we were to do manually, it will help us for sure in those things as well. So it's not only the easier tasks. There was a lot of tasks that I felt that I would have spent days here if it wasn't for the initial help, the initial assistance. So yeah, I completely agree, and I think the concern is deserved because I think it's also on us to look at the agents as an assistance and not as the main
as a driver.
yeah
Yeah.
yeah exactly.
And I think that is something that we are here at BI4ALL, we are constantly advocating for it and trying to evangelize everyone on that path. The humans are in control, and the human in the loop is very important. Yet I have that concern that and I think it will happen, because I think this is the first of all, I think this is the path. Just unless something drastically changes, I think that our interaction with AI agents is something that is
Will happen.
Needs to happen.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
now. So
Yeah.
we need to add agents to our backpack. Okay, so instead of knowing a lot of as a request, knowing a lot of PySpark, coding PySpark, you need to know how to operate with agents, because they drastically change the delivery time to have. Okay, so and this will be converted in money, so you can spend a lot of money, or you can save a lot of money when you're estimating projects. Okay, because it reduces the time.
Yeah.
Although agents are not for free, and a lot of the times this topic is kind of forgotten in the equation, and it's important to know when should you leave the agent and do it yourself. Okay.
I think that's also a challenge that I've felt.
Yes, you talked about in
And from your experience as well, more on the business side, how would you think that, because it's obviously we need experience on the projects, so what are the ways that we can measure, because it's really hard to measure the specifics on the specific time that an agent helped us on something. So I think it will take more time to have a medium long term of results.
Yes,
I think it's
definitely. We need to first try out and be open to success and failure, and then create metrics to measure everything. So we can after be able to look and see, okay, where did this accelerate and where did this didn't accelerate the project. So that's something that we need to do. We will in the project that you worked on, but we can definitely have the theoretical notion that definitely accelerates.
that's for sure.
Because you weren't experts in the source code. The notebooks were giant, and we were able to see that you could that you were comfortable working with it, because the agents were helping you on this process and accelerating everything. Not everything, but a part.
A part of it. Yeah.
Again, one of the concerns that I have, and once more I feel that this is going to happen, and is that the validation process and the way we work and operate with the agents changes. There's a shift in that, and the attention to detail and the time that you spend validating what the agent did takes time, and it increases.
Exactly.
It increases when you're working with agents or not.
I'm not. Yeah.
Okay, it's true that you always have to have attention to detail because we work with data, but it's different when you create the code or when it's delivered the code. It's like someone did the code and said, no, now validate this code. It's different. You need to be focused on testing and details, and you need to create guardrails for that and to help us on this process. Otherwise, I feel that with time, people start relaxing on this, and this is when the issues will appear.
Yeah, for sure.
Because LLMs and the agents are very good and hiding
Mistakes,
right? They are always super positive and saying, "Oh, I just did this and this is perfect." And if you relax on that, you can have a huge problem up front when deploying something in production, for example. And another thing is, you just can't say to a client that, oh, it was the agent. you're the responsible one. So
Yeah.
you in that notion is very important to pass. So
Yeah, but I think we are.
it will be always on the developer and not on the agent.
Yeah, I think we are here at BI4ALL. We are doing a good job at bringing the people in the project with the presentations. I think that's really important because for two things. Mainly, this one is for sure the first one. It's people need to. It's a thing that yes is going to happen. So we need to bring the people to the project itself, since they will be more comfortable working with them when the time comes. But second, as well, to give more ideas as well. I think when we were the validation, it's a thing that we already talked about, and people need to be aware of. Yes, you are going to spend less time manually doing the initial 20-30%, but you will for sure spend more time in the validation. And how can we develop frameworks
Agents to help us validate. And
or frameworks?
The judges we already have.
Yeah, the judges are really important as well, and I think it's for sure one of the things that we need to work even more in that regard. I think another thing that I felt working with agents, and that's probably a question as well, was I saw a lot of benefit from the frameworks that we have. Do you see working on the business side as well? Do you see the frameworks were an acceleration as well?
Definitely.
To the agents.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes. I think the way we are building, and another thing that I really liked and enjoyed, being part of the development of the agents and trying to help you out on the while the project was going on.
Yeah.
So I think the communication, once more, communication, it's one of the most important things, even for agents, right? So our communication was very easy going, and that helped us a lot and helped you so you could give us feedback, and we could constantly be improving the agents and passing to you, okay, these are the new agents. And for example, the agent, I think one of the biggest outcomes of that was the agent that would
The repetition one?
the repetition one.
Yeah.
Because it was something that was taking a lot of time for you to do that, because we just can't break. Just to give some context, this was a migration process, and the agents would have to migrate code from the source to the target language. And one of the things was agents just can't go through millions of rows or thousands of rows. We found that the sweet spot was around, let's call it 500 lines. Okay, so after that, he started to hallucinate. We would forget he wouldn't even do.
Yeah.
And he would say that he did everything, and the quality of the migration would be compromised. So one of the things that I started doing manually was to repetition the code, but you just can't break a code in a certain line. You just can say, okay, when I get to the line 500, just break the code, because it can be in the middle of a process, a store procedure, a function, whatever. So it needs to be broken in logical patterns, and that is even harder to do manually. And this is one of the feedback that they passed to us. So we're losing a lot of time doing this. Is there any way that we can create an agent that can help us on that? And we got their input and start working on that. And then we develop alongside with them this agent, passed to them on job. So they were doing their daily tasks, and we were like the back end trying to help them on this pilot. And this agent revealed to be very helpful because it would just you would evaluate the code, and it would say, okay, it's getting the threshold, it reaches the threshold, let me break in logical patterns. And it didn't affect the quality of the code and the outputs, right?
Right. Yeah.
And it improved, because now we had code blocks that would help to have the correct size.
Will make more sense.
It would make more
Together?
sense. Yeah,
No.
of course, because huge codes of lines, it's I've worked in a lot of migration, and it's hard.
Yeah.
It's definitely hard to do it manually, and to think on the logic. And there are different types of migration, but for example, lift and shifts, it's tough. And there's a manually, it's tough to do. And the agents, I think, are a good acceleration. Another topic that I would like to ask is what are your concerns
Okay.
into the future? So first, how do you envision this in 3-4 days? I'm kidding, but in 3-4 years or more, and what are your concerns? And you can start here at BI4ALL, and then we can move for as humanity, as
Okay. Here at BI4ALL, I think we already touched a little bit on it. The fact that, okay, I have 100% of the work that I need to deliver, and the agent might help for the 40%, the initial 40%. However, it's really easy to fall into the pit that we only need to do the 60, the rest, the 60. But actually, since the validation, it's a process that will increase the attention to in terms of time, the attention to detail, it becomes even more crucial than before. So in reality, we actually will have to do more than the 60%, the rest 60, even though in the end it will be worth it to have the initial 40%. So I think it's really important that we first we are in control of the final output. That's for sure the first thing. A lot of the unknowing from AI, it comes from agents. It comes from that feeling of uncertainty from people. So people need to believe that when they are working with an agent, the final output is always going to be ours, and that's a thing. So the relaxing point, I think it's that we already talked about, is the first one that I think is a concern, because with that it becomes that we are less demanding on us, I think, and less, we are going to challenge us less in a way, and that challenge is crucial to development, to personal development, to technical development, and so on. So yeah, we need to keep challenging us, even if we have an assistant with us.
Yes.
That's, I think, the first one that I would say, at least here in our kind of jobs. As a society, I think obviously we talk a lot about the replacing jobs type of thing, which will happen definitely, and I think that's a concern, not in terms of really long term. I think in the long term, this type of shifts, society adapts to this type of shifts,
and creates new jobs.
Exactly, but I think in the short term, there will be people that will be more faced to this type of jobs, that perhaps do not have the time or the capacity to adapt to newer jobs in technology. So I think it's really important that now we try to bring these people into this kind of topics, so that we can integrate everyone in the field. I think in terms of society, that's probably the short-term jobs that can be replaced by it. But I don't know. What's your thoughts on this, actually?
I have some concerns, of course. One of them that you just mentioned. At BI4ALL, I think we are having the right approach. I think in niches, in small groups, that these talks are being had, are existing, and that's very important. Okay, and I feel that at BI4ALL, we already have a first strategy, and the strategy is, once more, human in control. And so that leaves me some space to relax a little bit. Yet, I'm a bit concerned that people start being too used to use AI agents or chatbots, whatever you want to call it, and start getting less creative, and more redundant.
Yeah.
Okay, and that will be on people, so we can alert to that. But there's definitely an effort from the working people to evolve a little bit on that, because critical thinking, it's not something that it's that easy to have, and it's something that you need to train. Okay, and I have some concerns about that. Even when I can't imagine myself do the daily jobs routines that I do without using AI.
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
because it accelerates
also.
so much
Yeah.
my work that it's tough. Okay,
But on a society level, what do you think as well?
I think I have a similar concern with you. Okay, I like think positively, so I think in the long term we will adapt. But I fear that, for example, the AI is not on government, and it's on private sector, and it's something too big. And I question myself because it's the first time that it's not the first time it helped, but it's something so big, and it will be a shift so big. Everyone says that it will be much bigger than the industrial revolution. And not having the governments having the first say is something that scares me a little bit, because they are the ones that will run the people for the people, and companies run for, a lot of times, for the money. Yet I think there will be no other way. So I believe that everyone and this will be adapted, and I think we need to talk. So I think what my biggest concern right now is raise voices near the governments, and the governments do these talks and talk about this openly. And as a society, what are our strategies, and what is our life, like we do here. We say human in control, and I don't see those conversations there. And that's one of the things that worries me. Once more, communication. If I don't see the communication, I think, as you said, in the short term, it will be tough for people that are not aware or that aware, because the situation of their jobs doesn't promote that, right?
Yeah, right.
That concerns me.
Yeah, I think reinforcing a solution to that topic, it's for sure reinforcing the private and government alliance. For sure, I think that's probably the way to go in this regard. Yeah.
So I think we're done, and I hope you enjoyed it, and see you on the next episode of BI4ALL Talks. Cheers.
Just